What happens when a live talk show suddenly takes a turn no one expects? Especially when Jennifer Lopez is sitting right at the center of the table. The energy in the studio feels charged even before the cameras settle. Make sure to subscribe to Fame After Hours, and like and comment for more talk show coverage. The host adds with a practiced smile just as the light blinks red and the show goes live. The applause starts, loud, bright, scattered with a few excited cheers, and the host leans forward, elbows lightly on the table. Alright, everybody, welcome back. We have a lot to get into today, she says, glancing at the cue cards but barely needing them. She shifts her attention toward Jennifer Lopez, who sits poised, smiling politely but with that unmistakable guarded look celebrities get when they know something might go sideways. So Jennifer, another host jumps in, you've had a very busy few months. The tone is playful, but the audience chuckles knowingly. Jennifer nods. Yeah, it's been eventful, she replies, choosing her words with care. The main host laughs nervously, sensing something. Eventful. I like that. But listen, we want to start with something everyone's been talking about. She taps the table lightly. Your tour announcement, the online reaction, the interviews, people are curious. Jennifer adjusts in her seat, that controlled celebrity posture never breaking. I know there's been a lot said. I can't control every narrative, but I can show up and talk honestly. That's why I'm here. The crowd gives a supportive applause, though small pockets remain quiet. The energy is mixed, curious, unsure. One of the panelists, the more outspoken one, leans in. Okay, but Jennifer, with respect, you say you can't control the narrative, but you do control what you put out there. A lot of people felt the latest interview you did was a little dismissive of your fans' concerns. Jennifer's expression freezes just a fraction. I wasn't being dismissive, she says carefully. I was being real. The audience reacts, a soft ripple of, oh, running across the room. The host jumps in quickly, trying to smooth things before it escalates too soon. Let's take a step back. We're just trying to understand where your headspace is right now. Jennifer nods again, slower this time. I get it. And I respect the conversations. But I'm a human being too. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'm tired, or I'm hurt, or I'm frustrated. The outspoken host doesn't let it go. Sure. But when you choose to live so publicly, don't you think that? Jennifer interrupts, but softly. Can I finish? That alone makes the room shift. The audience goes silent, eyes moving back and forth between the two women. The main host raises her eyebrows. Go ahead, the outspoken host says, slightly defensive now. What I was going to say, Jennifer continues, her voice steady but firmer than before, is that people expect celebrities to be smiling 24/7. But when you're going through something personal, or there's pressure, or every move is scrutinized, it gets heavy. And I think people forget that. Before anyone can respond, another panelist cuts in gently. I think what she's saying is fair. There's a lot of pressure. Not everyone can handle constant judgment. But the outspoken host shakes her head. I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about accountability. When an artist says something that rubs fans the wrong way, especially during a big moment like a tour launch, they should be willing to acknowledge their part in it. Jennifer's jaw tightens now. It's subtle, but visible. I did acknowledge it, she says. But I'm not going to apologize for existing in a complicated moment. People want authenticity until it's messy. The audience reacts again, some applauding, some murmuring. The main host senses the rise in temperature and tries to cool the air. Okay, ladies, let's stay grounded. We're here for conversation, not confrontation. The outspoken host lifts her hand slightly. I'm not trying to confront. I'm trying to have a real conversation. Isn't that the point of this show? Jennifer gives a small, humorless laugh. Is it? Sometimes it feels like the point is to provoke the guest so you get your viral clip. The crowd gasps. Someone in the back whistles. The main host's eyes go wide for a second. Jennifer, she says carefully, I don't think that's fair. Jennifer shrugs, but there's a hint of fire behind the calm expression. I've been doing interviews for 25 years. I can tell when a question is meant to understand and when it's meant to poke. Another panelist jumps in quickly, sensing the tension is becoming too real. No one here is trying to poke. But we are trying to ask what the public wants to know. Jennifer gestures lightly with her hand. I get that. And I'm trying to answer. But if I'm going to sit here and be judged for every breath, then... She stops, takes a deep breath, then starts again more calmly. Look, I'm here because I care about my work, and I care about my fans. Even the ones who criticize me. The outspoken host folds her arms. But do you care enough to say, hey, maybe I shouldn't have said that one particular thing? Jennifer turns fully to face her for the first time. Do you care enough to admit that sometimes questions are framed to make a person look bad on air? The audience explodes, some cheering, some gasping, some laughing nervously. The host's eyes shoot to the producer off camera, who signals to keep rolling. The main host leans forward with a forced smile. Okay, we are definitely having a moment here, she jokes, though no one laughs. Jennifer sighs, but it's one of those sighs that comes from deep frustration held for too long. All I'm asking is for nuance. People read headlines, not context. And sometimes the headlines aren't even close to the truth. The outspoken host responds immediately. But you do know that your words carry weight, whether you like it or not. Jennifer doesn't blink. And so do yours. The entire studio goes silent. The main host clears her throat loudly. Let's take this one layer at a time. She turns to Jennifer. What do you feel people misunderstood most about your recent comments? Jennifer takes a moment. That I don't appreciate my fans. That's simply not true. I love them. They're the reason I'm here. But loving them doesn't mean I can never express frustration or fatigue. Another panelist nods. I understand that. People want transparency but only the parts they like. Jennifer smiles slightly, appreciative. The outspoken host, still tense, tilts her head. Okay. But do you think your tone contributed to the backlash? Jennifer holds eye contact. Maybe. Maybe not. But tone is subjective. Intent matters more. The host opens her mouth to respond, but the audience suddenly reacts to something. Someone clapping loudly from the second row. A man stands, calling out. Let her speak. You always interrupt your guests. Security moves toward him, but the main host raises her hand. It's fine. Sit down, sir, we hear you. The room buzzes. Jennifer looks shaken but composed. Thank you, she says softly toward the man before turning back to the table. The main host breathes deeply. All right. This is clearly a conversation people care about. And we're just getting started. The cameras zoom slightly, capturing Jennifer's face, calm, controlled, but undeniably tense. The atmosphere is thick, charged, unpredictable. And the moment is far from over. The studio feels different now, like everyone is sitting a little straighter, waiting to see who speaks first. The main host presses her palms together and offers a careful smile. All right, let's breathe for a second, she says, her voice calmer than her eyes. Jennifer, we want to give you the space to explain your side fully. No interruptions for a moment. Go ahead. Jennifer nods, grateful but still visibly tense. Okay. I'll say this as clearly as I can. I'm not upset that people had opinions. I'm upset that people acted like I don't care about what I do, or the people who support me. That's just not true. Before anyone can jump in, she continues. I've given my whole life to my work. My family sacrifices, my team sacrifices, I sacrifice. And when one small comment gets blown up, yeah, it hurts. I'm human. This time, the audience applauds fully, without hesitation. It's warm, supportive, almost protective. Jennifer smiles, but only briefly. The outspoken host finally speaks, more measured now. I hear you. I do. But I think part of the issue is that people feel like celebrities don't always understand how their words land. People look up to you. They take things personally. Jennifer nods slowly. That's fair. But doesn't that go both ways? Why is it okay to call me ungrateful, rude, out of touch? All based on a headline. A few people in the audience clap again. The outspoken host lifts her hands. Hey, I'm not defending trolls. I'm saying you and your fans have a relationship. And relationships sometimes need clarity. Jennifer relaxes a bit. And that's what I'm trying to do. Right now. Right here. Another panelist jumps in before things can flare up again. Let me ask something different, Jennifer. When you saw the backlash, what did you honestly feel? Not the PR answer, the real one. Jennifer laughs softly, the first real moment of ease. Honestly? I felt tired. Like, really tired. I felt like no matter what I say, people will twist it. I felt misunderstood. The crowd responds with a soft, ah, and Jennifer glances down, emotional but steady. The main host leans in gently. That's valid. But if you could send one message directly to your fans right now, what would it be? Jennifer takes a deep breath, thinking. I'd say, I love you. Even when it's hard. Even when we disagree. And I hope you'll let me be imperfect. The audience applauds again, louder this time. But the outspoken host, still unfiltered, adds, and do you think maybe the fans also want to feel like you hear them when they're upset? Jennifer looks at her, not irritated but thoughtful. Yes. And I do hear them. But hearing someone doesn't mean you have to accept everything they accuse you of. The outspoken host nods. Fair enough. Then something unexpected happens. A panelist who's been quiet most of the segment suddenly speaks under her breath, thinking her mic is low. This is what happens when we bring guests on who are already defensive. The room freezes. Jennifer turns her head slowly. I'm sorry, what did you say? The panelist's face drains of color. I know, that came out wrong. The audience reacts instantly. Gasps, whispers, shifting shoulders. Jennifer sits back, eyebrows raised. No, go ahead. Say it plainly. The main host jumps in fast. Okay, we're not doing this. That was off the cuff and not meant to escalate anything. But the damage is already done. Jennifer shakes her head slightly. This is exactly what I mean. People assume they know my emotions, my intentions, everything. I show up, and somehow I'm already guilty. The audience murmurs again, this time more sympathetically. The main host puts a hand on the table. Let's take a beat. We're going to talk this through. Nobody is attacking anybody. The tension rises again, not explosive, but simmering, unpredictable. And the conversation isn't even close to finished. The silence after that stray comment feels heavy, almost sticky, like everyone is waiting for someone else to break it first. The main host exhales slowly, trying to reset the mood. Jennifer, let's continue this calmly. No one wants you to feel attacked. We're here to have an open conversation, even if it gets uncomfortable. Jennifer folds her hands together on the table, steady but visibly hurt. I understand uncomfortable, but being labeled defensive before I even finish a sentence? That's not uncomfortable, that's dismissal. The panelist who slipped now tries to clean it up. I really didn't mean it that way. Live TV makes you say things too fast. I was trying to say the conversation is heated, not that you are. Jennifer's eyes stay on her for a long beat. Okay, then say it clearly. The panelist swallows. The conversation got heated. I shouldn't have phrased it the way I did. The host nods quickly, trying to move things forward. Thank you for clarifying. Let's continue. But the audience is still buzzing, whispering, reacting in little waves. Jennifer glances toward them, then back at the table. Look, she says, her tone softer but no less honest. I came here knowing we'd talk about all this. I'm not fragile. But I'm also not a punching bag. If I push back, that doesn't make me defensive. It makes me a person. The audience applauds loudly, almost as if they've been waiting for her to say exactly that. The outspoken host finally leans forward again, but this time her tone is less sharp, more reflective. Jennifer, can I ask something honestly? Yes, Jennifer says, holding her gaze. Do you feel like you're carrying something bigger than just the backlash? Because from the way you're talking, it sounds like this hit you at the wrong moment, when you were already dealing with a lot. Jennifer pauses, her eyes lowering for the first time in the entire segment. Maybe it did come at a really bad time. People forget I'm juggling personal things, work things, life things. And sometimes it all lands at once. The host nods sympathetically. We all know that feeling. Jennifer continues, and when that interview clip went viral, it felt like the whole world wanted to take a piece of me. Like no matter what I said, people were ready to be angry. The audience murmurs softly. Several people nod visibly. Another panelist, who has been mostly neutral, speaks up. That's tough. But I think that vulnerability helps people understand what actually happened. Maybe, Jennifer replies. But vulnerability is risky. Especially on platforms like this. The outspoken host adds, true, but that's also what people connect with. Jennifer thinks for a moment, then sighs. I know. And I'm trying. I really am. Then, as if the universe wants to test her, a voice from the audience suddenly shouts, We love you, Jennifer. The studio erupts into applause and some laughter. Even Jennifer can't help but smile, the tension dropping for a brief moment. But then, as the clapping dies down, the quieter panelist, the same one who slipped earlier, asks a question that instantly tightens the atmosphere again. Jennifer, do you ever worry that your reactions make things worse? The audience reacts instantly with a mix of gasps and oh no sounds. The main host closes her eyes for a second, already bracing. Jennifer turns slowly, her expression controlled but clearly stung. Do you worry that this show sometimes pushes people into reactions just so you have something to debate? The panelist's mouth opens, then closes. She's speechless. The outspoken host mutters under her breath, oh boy, but her mic catches it clearly. Jennifer leans in slightly, not aggressive, just unwavering. I'm asking genuinely. Do you think about that? The panelist clears her throat. We talk about hard topics. That's the job. And I'm answering hard questions, Jennifer says. That's my job. So why do we act like only one side deserves grace? A few audience members clap again. Others sit frozen, not wanting to miss a second. The main host looks between them. Okay, let's slow down. We are still live, she reminds them, almost pleading. Jennifer sits back but her eyes stay sharp. I'm calm. I'm just done pretending everything is fine when it clearly isn't. The whole room feels like it's balancing on a string, ready to snap or settle. No one knows which way it will go yet. And the moment is sliding into something even more intense. The tension hanging over the table feels almost physical now, like everyone can feel the weight of every word being spoken. The main host takes a deep breath, trying to steady the show before it pushes past the point of control. Jennifer, she says gently, I appreciate you staying in this conversation with us. Live TV isn't easy, especially when emotions get involved. Jennifer nods, calmer now but still holding her ground. I'm not afraid of hard conversations. I just want them to be fair. The audience claps lightly, as if agreeing with the sentiment but unsure how loudly they're allowed to respond. The outspoken host leans in again, choosing her words carefully this time. Let me say something. I might push hard, but it's not because I'm against you. It's because viewers expect us to ask tough questions. But I'll also say this, your honesty today, it's actually refreshing. Jennifer gives a small, tired smile. I can respect that. The quieter panelist, who has been visibly uncomfortable since her earlier comment, finally speaks, her voice softer. I really do want to clarify something. I didn't mean to imply you came in defensive. That was wrong. I should have been more thoughtful. Jennifer turns to her, expression open but cautious. Thank you. I just needed to hear you say that clearly. The moment lands heavily, and for the first time since the clash began, the room finally exhales. The audience applauds, relieved applause, grateful applause, the kind that says okay, maybe we're moving forward. The main host smiles, tension easing from her shoulders. This is what we want, real, messy, human conversation. No filters, no perfect answers. Jennifer laughs lightly. Well, you got that today. The audience laughs with her, and the room softens again. The outspoken host adds, but since we're being real, I have to ask this last question. When you walk out of here today, what do you want people to understand about you? Jennifer thinks for a moment, then answers with quiet conviction. That I'm not a headline. I'm a person. I make mistakes, I learn, I grow. And even when things get ugly, I still show up. I don't run. The entire audience erupts, this time a fully united standing ovation. Jennifer looks genuinely moved, blinking a few times as she takes it in. The main host reaches out and touches her arm. Thank you for being here. Really? Jennifer smiles. Thank you for letting me speak. The director signals that they need to wrap, but the audience keeps clapping, cheering louder now, some people even shouting supportive words. The main host raises her voice over the noise. We're going to take a quick break, but trust me, this conversation is already trending. Don't go anywhere. The camera light goes off, but the tension doesn't vanish, it shifts. The room buzzes with adrenaline and whispers. Panelists lean back, exchanging glances. Jennifer sits quietly, breathing deeply, almost in disbelief at how intense everything became. One of the crew members steps up to whisper something to the host. She nods dramatically. It's all over Twitter already, she tells the table. Clips. Quotes. People are taking sides. Jennifer raises her eyebrows. That fast? Oh yes, the outspoken host says, scrolling her phone. People are saying this might be one of the most honest interviews you've done in years. Another panelist turns her tablet around. And this part, where you called out the double standard. It's everywhere. Jennifer shakes her head with a mix of exhaustion and relief. I guess people were listening. The main host smiles sympathetically. They always are. Whether we like it or not. The stage manager calls out, back in 30. And everyone straightens up again, adjusting their clothes, touching up makeup. Just before the cameras go live again, Jennifer murmurs, I hope they understood what I was trying to say. The outspoken host replies, believe me, they did. The red light comes on again. The applause rises once more. And the show moves forward, but the moment stays in the air, thick and unforgettable. After the show, the story explodes online, hashtags trending, reaction videos being uploaded within minutes, fans arguing, critics dissecting every second. Some praise Jennifer for her honesty. Others blame the panel for stirring the pot. And some say the conversation was exactly what the public needed to see. Raw, imperfect, real. By evening, major entertainment pages pick up the story, posting clips with captions like, tense moment goes viral, and Jennifer Lopez breaks silence live on air. Backstage, Jennifer leaves quietly, thanking crew members with a soft smile, tired but lighter than when she walked in. And the debate continues everywhere else, on feeds, in comments, in group chats. People choosing their sides, sharing their interpretations, and replaying the moment again and again. If you're watching this right now on YouTube, make sure you share your opinion in the comments and subscribe to Fame After Hours for more real talk show stories.